All right, beautiful people. I hope that everyone is having a very, very blessed Friday. I almost said Saturday. My days are running into themselves, you guys. Well, I have a new series here that I'm going to be starting on my channel that is going to be called the Credit Score Plug. Okay, I have been doing a lot of research. I've been doing some training as far as helping people with their credit. And I have gotten a whole lot of information that I think is going to be very important for a lot of you guys out there that are looking to rebuild your credit, possibly buy that house, possibly buy that new car, whatever it is that you're trying to do in 2018 going into 2019. I am going to be the plug for you to come to ask for any type of advice that you have as far as your credit goes. All right, now let's talk about why you never should pay collections. First, I'm going to come back. Like I said, this is going to be a new series called the Credit Score Plug. And I'm going to be pretty much coming and doing live videos and that type of thing. And we're going to be discussing credit and that type of thing. Okay. I also want to let you guys know that I created an entire group called the Credit Score Plug, because if I'm going to be doing this on my YouTube channel, why not have you guys come over to Facebook and maybe we can educate some people over there on Facebook as well. All right. So I want to basically tell you guys why you should never pay collections. All right. And the reason why paying collections will not increase your credit score. I like to look at this in a sense of being like five pieces to the puzzle. Your credit score is pretty much broken down into five pieces. Okay. Now, well, I guess I don't want to say five pieces. I guess I want to pretty much say five categories. All right. And I do have my notes here, but y'all know how I like to talk off the dome. So we're going to be doing some, I'm going to be looking at y'all and I'm going to be referencing my notes because I want to make sure I'm giving you the correct information. First and foremost, your credit is broken down into five different categories. The first category is your payment history. We all know what payment history is. Basically, are you paying your mortgage on time? Are you paying that credit card on time? Are you paying for that couch that you got from Rent-A-Center? Are you paying that on time? That is going to make up literally 35% of your credit score. Okay, when I say 35%, I mean 35%, which is going to be like 185 of your credit score points. So if you are 30 days or more behind on a payment, let me tell you something, that can stay on your credit report for up to 7 years. I don't care if you get it back current. That late payment can actually stay on your credit report for up to 7 years. All right. Now, let me continue. Utilization. All right. And what utilization is say, for instance, you have a credit card that is, you have a $10,000 limit on that credit card. The last thing that you want to do is be spending $10,000, charging $10,000 on that credit card. You do not want to do that. What you want to make sure that you are doing is you are only utilizing 1 to 2% of that credit card. So if you have a $10,000 limit, you do not want to get anywhere near that $10,000 limit, because that is going to make up 30% of your credit score, which is going to be about 135 points. So if you are maxing out credit cards, you are literally about to ruin your credit score. Okay, literally ruin it. I'm just telling you guys. Okay, you're going to ruin it. The third thing is the age of the account. We're going to talk about this a little bit later, which is one of the reasons why you do not want to be paying off collections. All right. The age of the account. So say, for instance, you have and I always like to tell people this too, because I've been doing this for a while. A lot of people, my sister asked me this a couple of weeks ago. My little niece went to, I forgot if she said it was Macy's or JCPenney, one of these clothing stores, and she let the sales agent talk her into getting one of those credit cards. All right. And what my sister was about to do, she was about to immediately call and cancel the credit card. I said, do not do that. Okay. The last thing that you want to do is just say, for instance, that you have one of those Walmart store cards and you've charged $1,000 on the Walmart store card. And the first thing that you're saying to yourself is, as soon as I pay this credit card off, I'm going to close the account. Just say you've had that card for 5-6 years. Okay. And you just tired of paying that bill. And you say to yourself, once I get this card paid off, I'm going to go ahead and close it. That way I don't have to worry about that anymore. Let me tell you, that is the worst thing that you can do. Okay. Because when you are trying to, just say you're trying to get a loan for a house, you're trying to go and get a car, even trying to rent an apartment, all of those things, the age of your credit, the age of the accounts on your credit report will definitely help you to have a higher credit score. So the last thing you want to do is go and close those accounts. The best piece of advice I like to give people is, if you don't want to use those cards anymore, do not close them. Just cut them up. Get you some scissors and cut them cards up, but do not close those accounts. Period. Okay. Period. Do not close those accounts once you have paid them off. At the very least, just say you have a Walmart card. Maybe go and buy some, groceries for the week with that card and then pay it off. But do not continue to, just charge copious amounts of money on these cards. That's the last thing that you want to do. So the age of your account will make up 25% of your credit score. Do not go and close these accounts, y'all. Do not go and close these accounts. Next are going to be inquiries, okay? And I like to tell people, look, inquiries will make up about 5% of your credit score. Now, even though it's only about 5% of your credit score, the last thing you want to do is go to all of these different, just say for instance, clothing stores. I just gave you guys an example of that. You do not want to go to, Sears, okay? And they say, oh, okay, do you want to apply for this Sears card? You're like, oh yeah, I come in here and I shop a lot, so I'm going to apply for this Sears card. So you apply for that Sears card, all right? Now, they pull your credit score, okay? They pull your credit report. Now, if you already know that you have a lot of issues going on with your credit score or your credit report, and you have a lot of things, negative things that are on your credit report, the last thing you want to do is let these people be pulling your credit report, because it's going to be a hard inquiry on your report. So every time somebody pulls one of your FICO scores, it's going to negatively affect your account. Even your credit score, even though it's only 5%, it still negatively affects it, because a lot of these people, they'll not only will they try to get a card at Sears, they'll even go to Walmart and they'll try to get a card at Walmart a couple weeks later. And it takes a while for those things to be to basically get removed from your account, because after somebody tries to pull your credit, it shows up on your credit report for, I forgot exactly how long, but it shows up on your credit report, and it will decrease your score every time somebody tries to pull your credit report. So do not go and try to get, letting a lot of these random people just pull your credit report. That's the last thing that you want to do. So try to steer clear of a lot of these people who are offering you these store cards and stuff. Steer clear of that. Now, the next piece of the puzzle is going to be your type of account. That's going to make up the other 5% of your credit score. Now, when I say the type of accounts, basically I'm talking about like mortgages, your, car note, whether or not you have a lot of these rent to own things. Like a lot of people go to a lot of these rental center places and they like to rent these couches and, rent to own these couches and these TVs. A lot of lenders do not like to see when you have a lot of those types of accounts on your credit. Okay, not that it's gonna too much negatively affect it. Like I said, it's only about 5%, but a lot of lenders do not like to see a lot of those kind of accounts on your credit report. So the mixture of the accounts that you have will affect about 5% of your credit score. All right. Now, the next thing, I'm going to answer some of you guys' questions after I'm done with this. So I apologize if I am not reading the comments. I wanted to stay on track, because you guys know once I start reading something, I will literally go into a whole tangent and forget what I'm doing. So I want to make sure I'm staying on track. Now, one of the main reasons why you do not want to pay off collections is because once your any one of your accounts goes into collections, what is going to end up happening is that collection is going to remain on your credit report for 7 years, period, whether you pay it off or not. All right. It is going to remain on your credit report. The only way that I would pay off a collection is if I got in writing from the debt collector that I'm basically going to get a what's called a I think it's pay per deletion. I think that's the name of it, pay per deletion. Basically meaning it's in writing with a notarized signature from somebody who is from this company, basically letting me know that once I pay off this collection, it is going to be completely removed from my account. Do not pay off a collection unless you get in writing, not just any old letter. Okay, I'm talking about a certified letter that is saying that after you pay off this collection, it is going to get removed from your account, because otherwise, guess what? That collection is going to stay on your account anyway. Now, a lot of people don't pay off collections because, number one, Once you start paying on that collection, guess what happens? Because a lot of times these debt collectors, they'll call you and they'll be like, they'll threaten you. They'll tell you, we're going to garnish a check. We're going to, we're going to tap into your bank account. We're going to take your money. So that starts to scare people. People don't want to hear about how you going to, basically try to affect their finances. So naturally, they're going to get scared and they're going to try to set up some type of payment arrangement. Now, what you're going to end up doing is you're going to listen to these creditors because they're going to be calling you. They're going to be harassing you. They're going to be telling you, look, you're going to do this, you're going to do that, or we're going to do this and we're going to do that. So the first thing that you're going to say is, okay, well, I'll set up a payment arrangement and I'll pay you guys $25, $30 a month to go ahead and get this taken care of. What's going to end up happening is after you make that payment arrangement and you start to pay on that debt, it's going to pop up on your credit report as a new collection. So say, for instance, that you had a debt that, just say back in 2000, we're going to say in 2006, okay? 2006, you were doing really good. Your credit was was really good. You decided to get a credit card, and so you can have that for expenses and that type of thing. And you started using the credit card and you were always paying way more than the minimum payment on the credit card. Let's say a couple of months later, your husband ended up losing his job, or you ended up getting laid off or something like that. So now you're not paying more than the minimum payment on this credit card. Now you're only paying the minimum payment on the credit card. So you're not paying more than the minimum. Now you're only paying the minimum. Let's fast forward to 2010. All right, let's fast forward to 2010. Now you're not able to pay on the card at all. So not only are you not paying the minimum payment, you're not paying anything at all. So of course, after a couple of months, your account is going to go into collections. Okay, it's going to go into collections. So now we're going to fast forward to 2018. Now you've had this collection that's been on your account for, just say 4 or 5 years. Okay, if it's been on your account for 4 or 5 years and you're thinking to yourself, okay, now I want to go ahead and I want to try to pay off this collection. If you decide in 2018 that you're going to pay off an old collection that's been on your account for 4 or 5 years, okay, once you do that, once you start making payments on that collection, it's going to pop up on your credit report as a new collection. So it's not even going to pop up as an old one. The older the collection, the better it is. Because let me tell you, after 7 years, it's going to come off anyway. So a lot of times people will tell you only pay off the collection if you just decide that you want to pay off your debt. Okay, but I would actually get something in writing from these companies that literally says that once I pay you this debt, what's going to end up happening is we're going to put paid in full on your credit report, or we're either going to completely delete it all. But a lot of times, a lot of these debt collectors, a lot of these collection agencies, they're not even licensed in your state to collect the debt anyway. Okay, because literally, especially around tax time, that's when you got a lot of these companies that will literally sell your debt for pennies on the dollar. All right, if you've been on a debt for years, a lot of times these companies will, let's say you owe $600-700 on a credit card. They'll sell that debt to one of these collection agencies for $200-300, and these collection agencies will, when I tell you, they will stalk you. Okay, they will literally stalk you. They will harass you. Sometimes they'll even try to curse you out. Okay, like literally, it's money that's coming out of their pocket. The last thing that you want to do is agree to anything with these people. Number one, what they're going to have to do, they would actually have to send you something in writing. A lot of times you got a lot of these people that they'll use the proper verbiage. They'll send you these letters in the mail that will look, legitimate. I mean, it'll literally look like a letter that came from a legitimate collection agency. But a lot of these companies are people who are requesting money from you. But like I said, they are not licensed in your state legally to be able to collect a dime from you. Okay. Now, the first thing you need to do before you decide that you're going to pay off a collection is make sure that the validity of that collection is accurate. Okay. First and foremost, I don't care what they say. I don't care if you owe it. All right. They're going to have to show some type of proof that that is your account. Number one, you didn't have a contract with them. Just say, for instance, you had an account with Comcast. Okay. You had an account with Comcast and you didn't pay that account. So now Comcast has sold that account to a debt collector. Okay. Now, don't get me wrong. Some of these collection agencies are legally able to collect within your state. However, there are a lot of them that are not legally able to collect in your state. That's why you don't want to go and just be, you can dispute things on your credit report. However, that's one of the reasons why a lot of these things end up popping back up, because they have 30 days to report to the credit bureaus and prove that it is actually your account. All right. It's actually your account. However, like I said, at the end of the day, unless they give you something in writing that is certified, do not pay that off, because it's going to show up on your credit report as a current collection. And not only is it going to show up as a current collection, it's going to stay there. So what was it? So think to yourself, what is the point of me paying this off? Remember, after 7 years, it's going to fall off anyway. After 7 years, it's literally going to fall off anyway. So if you're, 5, 6 years in and you have this collection on your account, why on earth would you waste money paying them when after 7 years it's going to fall off anyway? All right. So now let me continue to move on. Now, like I said, I want to make sure that I'm staying the course, because y'all know I will literally go into a rabbit hole. I want to make sure that I am staying on track. Now, another thing, when you do get a letter from one of these collection agencies, the first thing that you want to do is make sure that you Google the company. Okay. I know you guys probably be like, Google ain't gonna tell me nothing. Look, I know a person who literally received collection. I'm talking about letters at the boohoo. Okay. I'm talking about these people were stalking them, threatening them, all this type of stuff. This person decided that they were going to Google, okay, the address that was on one of these letters that this collection agency, quote unquote, sent to them. Guess what popped up? Okay. It was a old busted up trailer with an old dirty pool in the background. Okay. It was literally old busted up trailer with a dirty pool in the background. So this wasn't even a certified, it wasn't a business office. It literally was a trailer with an old dirty pool in the background. A lot of times these people, they will start these collection agencies and they'll bid on your account. Like I said, for instance, you owe $1,000 account to Capital One. Capital One will sell that for $400 or $500, and they'll stalk you to get the remaining $500 up out of you. But, honey, I just thought about something, family, and the amount of scammers that are out there from these collection agencies are just ridiculous. Okay, these people are literally scamming y'all and taking y'all money. Do not pay these people. Okay, until you do some research on the company and until they can actually validate that debt. Do not pay these people. Okay, do not pay them because they are scamming you. Now, Credit Karma. Let's talk about Credit Karma. Somebody wanted me to talk about Credit Karma. Now, Credit Karma is a great way for you guys to, I'm not going to say monitor your credit, because Credit Karma is definitely not going to allow you to monitor your credit. That's the last thing that they're going to do. Credit Karma is basically like an educational site. Okay. And when I say educational, they actually pull what is called Vantage scores. Okay. Vantage scores so a lot of times when people go to Credit Karma, their credit score actually might show up a little bit higher than it will actually show on a FICO score. So literally Credit Karma can, because they have millions of people who are subscribed to their website, who sign up for their website so that they can do credit monitoring. They actually pull your Vantage score, which is not a hard inquiry. So it's not even going to show up on your credit report. Okay. It's literally only going to be showing most of the things that you've either paid on time. It might show like little bitty debts or something like that, but it's not going to show like collections. It's not going to show student loans. It's not going to pop up any of that type of stuff. Okay. So that's one of the reasons why I say a lot of people shouldn't really depend on Credit Karma. It is a good starting point. Okay. You can definitely go over there, and a lot of times it will show you kind of sort of where your credit score might be. The difference between a Vantage score and a FICO score is banks and car dealerships and apartment complexes, those type of places, they actually pull your FICO score. And what happens when your FICO score gets pulled is it's a hard inquiry on your account. So the Vantage scores aren't going to really affect you, but the FICO scores, they will decrease your credit score sometimes by, depending on how many times they pull it. My sister had a girl horror story. Let me tell you what happened to her. She went to get a brand new car, and these people, I don't know how it happened. I don't know what the lady did, but she ended up running my sister's credit report 4 times. She ended up pulling her credit report 4 times. So she had, I think her credit score dropped almost 100 points. Okay. Literally dropped almost 100 points because some kind of way this woman pulled her credit report 4 times. Okay. So FICO scores will drop your credit report. So that's one of the reasons why I like to tell people, do not go and just applying for a lot of these random credit cards and just random stuff that you know you're not qualified for, because it's going to pull your FICO score, and that is going to decrease your credit score by a lot. Okay. Now, what else did I want to talk about? Now, I already told you guys about this. Like I said, 25% of your score is based off how old the item on your credit report is, whether they are positive or negative. Okay, now that's not to say that you shouldn't be paying your bills. That is not to say that you should not be paying your bills, because you should be paying your bills. All right. But like I said, if an account is in collections, because that is what we're talking about, if an account is in collections, do not pay that collection off, because the collection being on your credit report is going to negatively affect it anyway. Okay. By you paying it off, it's not going to positively increase your credit score at all. Now, if one of these debt collectors, if you find out that it is a valid debt collector, because there are valid collection agencies out there. Okay. So once you verify whether or not it is a valid collection agency, and they can validate your, that it is your debt. Once you have verified that, and they send you that letter in the mail, and notarized and all this stuff, basically telling you that once you pay this debt, they're going to completely remove that from your account, then yes, you can go ahead and pay that off if that's what you choose to do. However, if it is an old collection, especially if it's 5 or 6 years old, do not touch it. Do not pay for that, because what's going to end up happening in a year anyway, that's going to fall off anyway. It's literally going to fall off your credit report anyway. Now, student loans. Let's talk about student loans. Student loans are a whole different situation. Okay. Now, that's not to say that student loans can't be removed from your credit report, because they can. They can be removed from your credit report, but it's a little bit deeper than that. Now, once your student loans go into default, or once they go into collections, a lot of times the Sallie Mae, they will basically pass that off to the federal government. So that's basically a government debt. So once you file your taxes, if you owe student loans, they're going to get their money one way or another, which is another reason why once that goes into collections and once they pass that off to the government, the last thing you want to do is pay. Because, girl, look, once you file your taxes, guess what? They finna pull that. I know 2 people this past tax season who was waiting on their tax check, and guess what? They got a letter in the mail saying, "Oh, okay, thank you for paying what you owed us, what you owed to Sallie Mae," and they still not through. Okay, so just say, for instance, your tax check was supposed to be $7,000, but you owe Sallie Mae 10. They took that 7,000, but guess what? Next year when you file your taxes, they're gonna take the rest of it too. So you definitely need to be careful with the student loan thing too, because they will literally take your tax check. So yeah, those student loans are definitely what pulls down a lot of people's credit report. All right. Now, I already told you guys about the credit card situation. I already told you guys about how some negative accounts on your credit report are actually helping your score. Now, the age of your account is about 35% of your credit, as I said. So that's basically what I wanted to come and share with you guys. The reason why you should not be paying off, never pay collections, okay? Because a lot of these companies that are trying to collect these debts from you are not even licensed legally to collect debt in your state. So what you need to do, I know a lot of times we like to dispute our own credit, our own collections and our own debts and things like that on our credit report ourselves, and we can. However, a lot of times, a lot of people ask, a lot of people like to tell me, well, I disputed this, and 3-4 months later, it popped back up. Yes, because a lot of times these people, they get swamped with paperwork. They have a lot of people who are disputing things on their credit report. So what ends up happening is they might not get to yours within those 30 days, but maybe 3-4 months later, they might go through their paperwork and they might see, okay, this is a valid debt, and it'll pop back up on your credit report. So, and you also might notice that the same collection agency that reported it the first time may not even be the collection agency that's hounding you, a couple of months down the line for it after you've gotten it removed from your credit report. You know what I'm saying? So you just want to make sure that you're validating that these people are legitimate. They're not scammers, because you got a lot of these people out here who literally will take a couple of training classes, open up a collection agencies, and they will literally bid on debts from a lot of these companies, and they'll buy them for pennies on the dollar, and they'll call you to try to collect the debt. And guess what? It's still going to stay on your credit report. It's not going to go anywhere unless you get something in writing. And a lot of these people will not give you anything in writing saying that they're going to completely remove it from your credit report. And even if they do say that they're going to send you something in the mail that says, yes, once you pay this off, we're going to remove it from your credit report, you got to make sure that the company that is trying to collect the debt is valid and they are legally able to collect the debt within your state. Definitely make sure that you're doing that. Now, anybody got any questions on what I was talking about? Y'all know I didn't talk about what I had to talk about. Now I'm going to, we're going to go to the chat and we're going to take some of these questions. Somebody said you can also ask the collection agencies to do a pay for. Yes, I mentioned that, a pay for deletion. I mentioned that. Make sure that a lot of times you can, what they call negotiating a settlement. So just say, for instance, you have a debt that is $4,000. A lot of times these collection agencies will, they'll tell you, well, if you can pay $2,500 today, we'll go ahead and we'll get you set up. That way we can, do a pay for delete. That way we'll go ahead and remove from your account. But before you even agree to that, get something in writing. Do not just take their word for it. And like I said, also, Google is your friend, not your enemy sometimes, unless you're sick and you go into Google trying to, look up on your sickness or something, because we ain't gonna even go there. You can have the common cold, and you go on Google, they telling you got, cancer or some girl, a hot mess. But Google the address that a lot of these collection agencies are sending these letters from. A lot of times you will be surprised at what will pop up on Google. If you go to Google, it'll actually, you can look at the actual house. Like if you know somebody's address, just say, for instance, your mama, put in your mama's address on Google. A lot of times they'll have what's called street views, and you can actually see the actual building that is at this address. So do that. That's one of the first things that you want to do. And a lot of times you will see that a lot of these people are scammers. That's literally, they know the verbiage to use. They literally write up these authentic looking collection letters and they will send them to you, and they will take your money. And guess what? The debt is still going to be on your account. And a lot of times it won't even say paid in full. Now, if you, like I said, if you want to pay that debt off and they agree to put paid in full, or, it's something like that, a lot of times like I said, it still won't affect your credit score. It's not going to increase your credit score, but you may have some lenders who may look at that collection on your credit report, and they may be like, oh, okay, well, this person did take the necessary steps to, even though it was an old account, they took the necessary steps to pay it off. And they didn't just ignore it and say, well, I'm not going to pay it. So if you pay it off, that is your personal choice, but it's still going to stay on your credit report unless they agree to have it removed. So if you pay it, just be aware that unless you got something in writing that says they're going to remove this from your account, or they're going to put paid in full or something like that, do not pay these people, because the collection is going to stay there for 7 years anyway. Do not do it. Isha Bay said, be sure to dispute old addresses on your credit report as well. That surprisingly impacts your score as well. Yes, it does. People check out 609creditrepair.com. They will give you 60-day guarantee. Google it. Reviews on it. Yes. What about a rental judgment on an old apartment? Do you mean like if you moved out of an apartment before you were able to move out, but before you were before your lease was up? Is that what you're meaning, Yvette? Is that what you're meaning, Yvette? Good luck. The student loans do count as part of your debt to income ratio when you apply for loans. Yes, they do. Yes, they do. I literally just got done paying Sally Mae. God is good. My credit score is literally almost to an 800. I am almost to an 800 credit score, thanks to the good Lord above. Thanks to the good Lord above. All right. Can you fix my credit? It's not that bad. I can try. I can definitely try. Oh, you guys, there are 122 of you guys in here. Check out the group down in the description box, the credit score plug. All right, the credit score plug. Go over and join that Facebook group. I'm going to be sharing a whole lot of knowledge over there. A lot of things that you guys may or may not know. Also, some things that you guys don't know. Hospital bills. Those are one of the easiest things to get removed from your credit report. A lot of people don't know that. A lot of these hospitals, they'll sell the debt. Okay. Hospital bills are one of the easiest things to get removed from your credit report. All right. And a lot of people also don't know bankruptcy. Bankruptcy. A lot of people think that it has to stay on your credit report for 7 to 10 years. It's not true. That's not true. Do not believe that. So again, breaking the lease. Now that's a whole nother thing. Okay. When you break your lease, if they actually decide to sue you, you will be liable for that debt because they can prove that it's your debt. Okay. So you definitely want to, if you break a lease and they decide to take you to court, that you will be liable for that debt. Now, once you pay it, as if you decide that you're going to make payments on it, to say for instance, you broke the lease 6 months in, you had a six months remaining on your lease. Once you make payments to, towards that remaining 6 months, it will be removed from your credit report. That can be removed from your credit report. So definitely make sure that you know that. So again, go and join the group down in the description box, the credit score plug. I'm going to be putting a whole lot of tips and tricks and things over there. And if you need your credit fixed, girl, like I said, I've been doing some training and different stuff like that. Let's get it popping. Okay, let's get it popping. Link down in the description box down below. You guys know how we work. Like I said, this is a new series on my channel, the credit core, the credit core. The credit score plug, link in the description. Check it out. And I will see you guys in the next video. Bye, family.